Ron, and to everyone at the World Jewish Congress, thank you for your years of dedication to such a righteous cause. And thank you for the difference you make. And thank you for never tiring in the unceasing work of speaking out against the persistent hatred and anti-Semitism in our world. I can't tell you how honored and how touched I am to be here tonight among friends, receiving such a meaningful recognition. You know, I've worn many professional hats throughout my life: businessman, ambassador, governor. You know, I'm also a dad and a grandpa and a husband. So thank you, Mary Kay, and to our wonderful family who was present here in all their color and glory. It's so meaningful to be here as grandpa, they call me Bapa, of Shoshi, of Jack, of Harrison, and Isabel, right here on the front row. Most recently, I joined MasterCard as vice chair to lead their work on driving strategic growth globally. And I'm so proud to be joined by several of my MasterCard colleagues who are here tonight as well. Through every turn my life has taken, I've been grounded by the basic conviction that we have more that unites us than divides us. That if we look for it, we will find more common ground than grievance. And that our capacity for goodness and reconciliation far outstrips our human weaknesses, which allow for so much injustice in our world today. That is a hard view to hold at a time like this. When we have daily examples of a world divided, new life has been breathed into the ancient evil of anti-Semitism. And last month on October 7, we solemnly marked 1 year since the single deadliest day for Jews since the Holocaust. But it is precisely in these moments when progress is hardest to see and hope is hardest to hold on to, that it is most important that we as leaders and human beings recommit ourselves to the work of tikkun olam, of healing the world. Now, perhaps you might be asking yourself, because I know what you're thinking, what a boy from Utah understands about the history of the Jewish people, weighted with so much pain and joy intermingled. While our stories certainly are a bit different, I come here tonight, the son of a family whose ancestors were also cast out and condemned for their faith. Growing up in a Mormon community, I always felt a resonance with the Jewish community and the legacy of resilience in the face of persecution. While I was at Penn in the 1980s, I found myself spending time and attending events at Hillel House. And then in the mid-1990s, when I was working with our family business in Utah, along with my brother Paul, who's here, I began to get to know about the work of Chabad, Lubavitch, thanks to my good friend, my rabbi, Rabbi Benny Zivel, who was here with me tonight. Rabbi, welcome. It's a great blessing in my life, and only a small exaggeration to say that anytime I arrive in a new city anywhere in the world, Rabbi Benny makes sure a Chabad representative comes to pray with me. Almost as aggressive as the Mormon missionaries, of which I was once one. As governor of Utah, together with Benny, we instituted the lighting of a menorah for Hanukkah at the governor's mansion, never before done. Eventually, the celebration became so large we needed to move it to the rotunda of the state capitol. I'll never forget my first visit to Israel with Benny in 2009, feeling the full history and heft of what the realization of Theodor Herzl's dream for the state of Israel meant for Jewish people everywhere. I visited the Western Wall and toured the tunnels beneath. I mourned the 6 million lives stolen by the Shoah at Yad Vashem. And I will never forget taking a helicopter tour of the country and being shaken by the realization of just how small Israel is in size, but significant in impact for our world. It brought home for me just how important it is that the United States maintain an unshakable commitment to the security of our ally, Israel. Thinking of it again now, I'm reminded of David Ben-Gurion's famous words. In Israel, in order to be a realist, you must believe in miracles. Miracles are part of the story of Israel. We must never forget that, especially now. In its horrific terrorist attack of October 7, 2023, Hamas brutally murdered more than 1,200 innocent Israelis, used rape and sexual assault as a weapon of war, and took 251 people hostage, including young children. Just a few weeks ago, Israel delivered justice to the mass murderer and terrorist Yahya Sinwar. But more than a year later, more than 60 hostages are still believed to be alive and being held in Gaza. So I have worn these dog tags every day since last October. And they bear a simple message. Bring them home now. Bring them home now. This has been a year of unspeakable suffering in the region. For the families of those hostages anxiously awaiting any word on their loved ones, for the Israeli people facing down rocket fire and ballistic missile assaults from Iran and its proxies throughout the region, including Hezbollah, and for the Palestinian people in Gaza, who have lost so much to Hamas's hatred. I hope that we can all commit ourselves to working to end this war, to reunite the hostages with their families, assure Israel's security now and in the future, and begin the difficult work of rebuilding Gaza and supporting a future of peace and security for the Palestinian people, free from the scourge of Hamas. In Israel, in order to be a realist, you must believe in miracles. Ben-Gurion was right. But the part left unsaid was how much work miracles can take. And that is what falls to all of us here tonight. To stand with Israel and support an ultimate path to peace, but also to do the hard work, daily work of fighting the anti-Semitism around the world that terrorist groups like Hamas feed on. This was part of my work when I served as ambassador both in China and in Russia. I was a key interlocutor for Jewish communities in both those countries, where faith can often come under pressure. Just as importantly, I view it as part of my work as a citizen of the United States of America. That's why last year, amid the drastic rise of anti-Semitism on college campuses, especially in the wake of October 7, I sent a letter to the president of my alma mater, withdrawing the financial support of the Huntsman Foundation. What I wrote then remains true today. Silence is anti-Semitism. And anti-Semitism is hate. The very thing higher ed was built to obviate. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. I believe each of us has a responsibility to do the work, and I believe in our ability to heal the world. You see, I believe in miracles. So thank you again for this honor. I'm truly humbled. More importantly, I'm inspired. I'm inspired to keep going, to keep working to build bridges of peace and understanding, to keep speaking out in the face of hatred and anti-Semitism in all its forms, to keep believing in miracles. Thank you all very much.